Gold, or coal to you and me, has many associations within this region. With the Industrial Revolution fueling demand for more and more coal, efficient transportation became a major challenge, one that only groundbreaking engineering could solve.
Right, Andy, we've got the points set, the track's clear, it's time to go.
Need the rag. Is yours. Off we go then. In the mid-18th century, Shildon wagons were the mainstay of railways that served collieries in the northeast of England until the early 19th century. The early wagons had wooden wheels and were hauled by horses along the wagonways. Before the mid-1820s, the size of these wagons varied from pit to pit, and by the 1880s were carrying up to 4 tons of coal. In those days, a chaldron was an English measure of volume until the term was abolished in 1963. One of the first of the public railways to open in 1825 was the Stockton and Darlington Railway, transporting coal from South Durham to the River Tees. When in 1830 the railway line was extended to Middlesbrough, it helped create much of the industry we see today, making Teesport the 3rd largest port in the UK. By the turn of the century, coal wagons were built with 7 or even 8 planks, capable of carrying up to 12 tons. The 8 plank, as it was known, was a 4-wheeled wooden hopper coal wagon favoured by both the North East and the North Eastern Railway companies. By the time of the 1923 grouping, which saw several existing rail companies merge to become London North Eastern Railway, known as LNER, there were over 17,000 plank wagons in use. Today, some of the original LNER route still survives as part of the East Coast Main Line between London and Edinburgh. In the 1960s, the movement of coal by rail was revolutionised through the introduction of new coal hoppers called merry-go-round wagons. Revolutionary because their design meant coal could be unloaded and loaded whilst still moving at half a mile per hour. As a result, transporting coal from pits and docks to power stations around the country became much more efficient. In 1964, the development of coal wagons continued at Darlington Faverdale Works, when the prototype of a 32-ton MGR unit was built and tested. This has now been cosmetically restored by volunteers at the National Railway Museum Conservation Workshop. When Darlington Faverdale Works closed in 1966, Shildon continued the legacy of building and repairing over 10,000 MGR wagons, or high caps as they were known, until the last wagon was built in 1982. Keen to locate a working wagon previously built at Shildon, the northeast branch of the Friends of the National Railway Museum started their search throughout the UK.
Well, our group of friends decided about 3.5 years ago that it would be nice to have a Shildon-built wagon here at Shildon. Really, it's a tribute to all the workers that used to work in Shildon Railway Works. We decided that we thought the merry-go-round, which is known as the high cap wagon, would be the most ideal.
The wagon was finally purchased during an online auction in November 2011, and after a long journey home, is now situated here in the museum.
Being as I used to live in the town right by the railway line, I probably saw the wagon go out when it was brand new. So to get it back to Shildon, absolutely delighted.
You just look and see how well it was built, and look and think, you think yourself, well, it was one of mine.
You know, it was the most popular wagon that we worked on, and to have the last one here, it's a way to honour for Shildon, you know, to bring it here and
It's very important for the museum to have the high caps because they're a part of Shildon's history, such a big part.
I would say that the wagon, or any wagon that was built in Shildon, is as important as what these engines are, because it is Shildon heritage, it's part of Shildon, and for many years to come I hope people come to see it.
And having one of the prototypes and the last one is quite something.
They were terrific wagons, full stop.
And they were really well built, really well built.
Well, what we're doing at the moment is we're removing 30 years of grime off it, which is a slow process, and the team of the friends, there's 3 or 4 of us working on it. We actually surprised how good a condition it is really, so I think we want to try and keep it in its working condition and not in its pristine condition when we're finished.
With this addition to our collection, we've secured a part of Shildon's heritage for future generations to come.
To have the last high-cap built wagon here, it's all part of the heritage of the town, so people in the future will know what Shildon was all about.